Planning your Saturday night can be a bit of a bitch.
Saturday night is the loneliest night in the week.
Well, it doesn't have to be. Load up Toxic Radio every Saturday night for the Heavy Metal Happy Hour. With the one and only Fishman.
I know that, dude.
There will be interviews, ticket giveaways, a little bit of banter with Toxic Mike, and of course great metal from the 80s all the way through today. Starts at 7 p.m., runs until Fish says it's over.
Everyone get out!
Catch it only on Toxic Radio. Don't play it safe. Play it toxic. Hey guys, dating life going pretty shitty?
I find you so creepy, I think you should have to walk around with a bell around your neck.
Finding yourself getting a little desperate for some female companionship?
Alexa, tell me you love me.
Hell no. You disgust me.
What you need is to upgrade your style right now. The Toxic Store's got exactly what you need. Pick up some stylish gear featuring Deviant Gamer, Toxic Radio, and the Heavy Metal Happy Hour.
Oh, yeah!
You can find the store through the Toxic Radio app or toxicradio.net. Get in the game.
Do I make you horny, baby?
Get yourself a little love.
That guy's getting boobies.
Yeah, he is.
Toxic Radio and the Toxic Store. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic. While you're rocking with us at Toxic Radio, don't forget to check us out on social media.
I want details, and I want them right now.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Now you're talking, brother.
Chat with us, keep up on news. Just don't make it weird. Don't be a stalker. Don't be that guy.
You just want to suck the joy out of everything.
Toxic Radio. Get infected.
Hungry for Hope Nation, we are live. Your host here, Donnie Hart, and I'm joined by my co-host, Big Time Tim Gorgeous. And this week's introduction was brought to you by Hypersleep. Hypersleep, another product on repsports.com. Use promo code BIGTIME. All proceeds go to the Hungry for Hope nonprofit. Great job. We also have live in the studio our guest, inspiring lady, Erin Fitzpatrick. Erin, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, guys.
We're so excited to have you, Erin. How do you feel to be here? You're happy or?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm stoked. I'm really honored that you asked me to be on the show, and I know we go way back. So
back.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see your journey, and this is amazing. So thank you.
It's awesome. We've known each other for 15 years maybe. I don't know. I'm not good with math.
Just about. Yeah, just about. Yeah, mid-teens I think for me. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So happy to have you. We also got Yanni the Greek in studio. We'll be doing a lot of social media stuff and jumping in. Yanni, welcome.
How's it going, everybody? Yeah, getting the word out. Again, we're talking puppies today. Everybody's excited about that.
Yeah, we'll be talking some puppies. We're also going to be empowering and inspiring people, Yanni. First, we brought you on. We're doing our community spotlight, Erin. I love what you're doing in the community. You're really you're empowering people. You're a women's coach, women's empowerment coach. Am I right?
Yes.
You're also an entrepreneur. With the Posh Pooch?
Yes, so I have a dog daycare grooming training facility in Cherry Hill, and I also am a women's empowerment coach, so I'm lucky to do two things that I absolutely love, which is help people and help animals at the same time.
Yeah, there's a website live right now if anybody wants to check it out. It's up on our feed. We're just going to get in and start asking some questions, and then we'll let you tell your story a little later.
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Now's the time. What's one thing you had wished you known during your active addiction?
That's a really great question, but I think, the thing that sticks out to me most is I wish I knew my potential. It just gets I just had no self-worth I didn't believe in myself at all. And I just didn't see the destruction ahead of me, that I just kept self-destructing in it without caring about my future and caring about what I could do to help myself or help my family or, let alone help anybody else.
That's a great answer. I agree, man. A lot of things we do with people now. I know when I was down and out, I went through my dark times. Just having somebody come up to you sometimes and tell you your worth, that can be, just people forget their worth, and you're in a dark time. They think the world forgot about them. But that's great. Sometimes we all forget our worth. We don't realize how amazing and special we are.
And I think that's the tough thing is when you are in that space of addiction, you destroy everybody and everything around you. So you have everybody else telling you that you don't really have much potential, or kind of just think of you as a SOB.
You can curse on the show.
Okay, I was just wondering, a piece of shit. Everybody thinks you're a piece of shit, and you just feel that way. You internalize it, so it's hard to see any future for yourself when nobody else sees it at the time.
That's why even now, man, I try to. The greatest gift now is I'm allowed to pick who I put around me, and I put other people. I try to motivate, everybody around me, and the people around me try to motivate me. And words can be such difference. Just people who inspire you, people who believe in you, and when you're in active addiction or whatever you're going through, sometimes you're just not around them people, and you forget what you're worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to go to my co-host, Big Time Tim Kudges. He was the one with that obnoxious introduction earlier. Tim, you got...
I wouldn't say obnoxious. I would say entertaining, motivating, incredible. Those would be choice words I would use. But I do have a question. Sure. So we've talked a lot about this on the show, back and forth. We talked about it on our pilot episode, stuff like that. But what is your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
I would say... my biggest failure through my journey and my addiction was failing my family. I am the oldest of 5 siblings. I have 2 younger brothers, 2 younger sisters, amazing parents who were there for me as a child. My dad coached all my sports teams, drove me to dog shows all over the country, and were just so supportive and loving. I never even remember my parents fighting growing up. And I failed them. I failed my siblings as a big sister. I wanted nothing to do with them. And I put them through hell. I'd had the cops called on me all the time because I was in some kind of rampage, or, just being a total nightmare. So, it took a long time for me to restore the relationship with my siblings and my parents. My parents that started to mend first, but my siblings were all younger than me, so they grew up in a toxic household because of me. And it used to hurt when I saw my 2 sisters or best friends so close, and I felt guilty because I knew that I caused that, and that I wanted that relationship with them. But thank God today everything is we're really close, but it took a long time. It took a long time to get there.
Yeah, I always joke around with my little sister because, at the same time, I was finally getting sober, she was getting ready to go to college. She would get the pat on the back. Great job, you got into college. They're throwing parties for me for 1 year sober.
Yeah, my sister right below me is the star child.
You're a star too, Erin.
Thanks, Dad.
We're going to get on to the next question, our little superstar. What advice would you give somebody that's also going through dark times similar to the stuff you've gone through?
I think to keep faith that it's possible to get out, and not that it's only possible to get out of the situation, but you can not only that it's possible to get out of the situation, but you can live your life beyond your wildest dreams. You can there is no ceiling. There's a glass ceiling and you break through it. So there's nothing that you can't do, even though you feel probably at the moment that I know I felt that there's no way I could achieve anything. So believe in yourself. Believe in yourself is really what I want to say.
Believe in yourself, man. so much easier said than done sometimes, but it's powerful words. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Like I said, last question. Sometimes we forget how powerful we really are. We forget, we're such in a dark place. We forget that, before then we have a lot of good qualities in us. But definitely believe in yourself. I agree. Big time Tim Kudges, let's go.
Yeah, before the next question, I just want to apologize. I know Mike was distracting when he came in here, so I want to apologize for that. But like this, we reach out to a lot of people to get different ideas, learn more about podcasting, stuff like this. So what were some of the best resources that have helped you along the way?
Oh, good question. It was a lot of trial and error. I've been to a lot of treatment centers, and I don't think any of them helped. So, I think it planted a seed of being insightful and being, kind of just very self-aware. But at the end of the day, it's, how bad do you want it? And what are you going to do for it? I think once that seed was planted, I motivational speakers, podcasts, books, yoga and meditation. And for me, I am a Christian, so I reconnected with my faith, and I used what worked for me. When you're in treatment centers, they take you to AA and NA. And personally, for me, it works for a lot of people. Nothing against it at all. I think it's amazing. It's an amazing program. But for me, I don't identify as an addict, because if I did, I think that, you are what you tell yourself. So I think, I had a problem with drugs, and I was addicted at one point, but I don't see myself as an addict. I think if I did, it would be detrimental to my recovery and my health.
Yeah, I mean, I did the AA thing the first couple of years around, mainly the first one or two. It just really, for me, it just set principles in my life that I could live by. Mm-hmm. Other than that, it's, no offense, everybody, AA, but it's like a coldish atmosphere, and it kind of gets to you after a while. So I see where you're coming from. Yeah,
I agree.
Everything works different for people, and you mentioned a great thing. A lot of the stuff said yoga, but the gym was a great resource for me. Really, it was like my church almost, going to the gym, and then hearing other people. Like, that's what we try to do with our podcast and our Hungry for Hope nonprofit. Sometimes hearing from people, not just hearing, I always say, hearing from people who went through something that we went through, people who can relate. Sometimes this is how the mind works. We relate to people who have been in that same gutter we might have came from, and now they're out of it. And you see someone, you're like, oh, they can do it, I can do it. You can get that through a podcast. You can get it through self-help, whatever.
Absolutely. Whatever works best for that person works.
Whoever influences you. And our next question kind of goes right along with that. Erin, who are the people who have been the most influential to you in your life?
Ooh, okay. So number one, I definitely know my dad, my father. He has his own, he's a CPA. He built his business from the ground up. He is the most well-rounded person that I know. And he's in better shape than I am at his age. So the reason I'm an entrepreneur and I have all the drive and ambition that I do is related to him. Number two, I would say, would be my old boss, Adriano, who taught me how to groom. So I wouldn't be the groomer that I am today. So, a competitive award-winning groomer, if I didn't learn and work directly under him as his apprentice. And then number three, kind of cliche, but Tony Robbins, because a lot of my daily life and principles and my coaching is directly related to his teachings. And so yeah.
That's awesome. Tony Robbins, I like that. He's an inspiring guy. You mentioned your family. Your family's awesome people, man. Just want to give a big shout out to them. You come from a great family. That's good answers. But Tim, let's go on. You got more questions, kid?
Definitely. I got the Yanni special coming up next. So if you could step into my shoes, what would you have asked yourself that I didn't?
We just talked about this question.
You got this,
It's
Erin.
almost like it's tough to understand.
Like me asking a question as an interviewer to you,
Yeah.
what would you ask yourself if you were me?
Right. Okay. So, that's a good question. I may need to pause for a second with this one.
Really makes you think.
It does.
It's a thinker. I'm gonna let you keep thinking. When you come up with it, you know, there's so many things you can. It don't have to be. It can be like we asked last week. What's your favorite band? Or,
I don't know. Plans for the future. Plans for the future. Do I have?
Erin, what's your plans for the future? Or Tim, do you want to know Tim's plans for the future? You or Tim? So.
Tim is asking me from myself what my plans for the future
Yeah, so what are your plans for the future?
Thanks, Tim.
No problem.
I just plan. I really would like to impact as many lives as I possibly can with my story and my journey. I just connected with this awesome foundation called B1G1, who is every time is working with businesses to whoever, when you make a sale, you donate to charities of your choosing. And what they do, it's all the UN sustainable goals for the world. So I think that's super cool. I was so excited to find out and start to work with this agency. I plan on doing that through my grooming and my coaching business. And then I also plan on growing my coaching business and growing my grooming business. I'd love to open a second location in Florida and just fly back, once to maintain both. But yeah, so thanks for the question.
No problem. It's probably my best question yet.
The best answer. I don't know about the question. All right, let me ask you another one. If our listeners they're watching, they're inspired, they maybe they need a dog groom, they just want to learn more about you, they need some empowerment. Where can our listeners seek your services or find you online?
The best place to reach me for my coaching services is through Facebook, facebook.com/Erin Fitzpatrick Coaching. You can also, for my grooming and daycare and training, you can find me at the Posh Pooch NJ as in New Jersey.com. Or at the Posh Pooch NJ on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we put your website up earlier. They can go to that. That's awesome. Tim, head her with a question, my man.
All right, the most important question. Since Hunger for Hope's all about giving hope to those who might have lost hope or need hope, the $1 million question is, what does hope mean to you?
I love that question. And hope, hope is absolutely integral to any type of growth from coming, where I've come from, where we've come from. Without hope, there's no seed planted to give the motivation to even start thinking about trying to get out of the situation and trying to grow and, get clean or whatever struggle that you're struggling with. There needs to be hope in order to get out of that situation. It's hard because I remember being in that space and thinking, I don't even see a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just total darkness. Like how do you have hope if you've never seen the light before? So it's absolutely, just if speaking and me sharing my story, if that can plant a seed of hope for somebody, even if it's not realized for, a year from now, that's the most important thing in the world, I believe.
Absolutely. Even in how many times did I try to get sober, try to get through addiction, and a lot of stuff were seeds planted before. And then I kind of got there on my own when it was time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same with me.
That's great, man. I love that question. It's like my favorite question. We've just been asking it for the last month, and we've had so many good answers. I can't wait to hear more about that. But and they were great. That was great questions, man. And they got our listeners to know a little about you. But on this show, like you mentioned, sometimes things that inspired you were hearing other people speak and stuff, and that's great. Hearing people's positive stuff. But I feel like for people to really know your story, to know my story, Tim's story, has to know where you came from to get to where you're going. Just ask you, you went through addiction and tough times. Like, How did this come about? When was that during your teenage years?
So I first started using when I was 15. I said I came from a great family. There was really no reason that I should have been as miserable as I was as a teen. Pittman, where I come from, is a really small town, and there was a lot of clickiness. I felt like I didn't really fit in anywhere. My mom identified me as an angry child. I still don't know what that means to this day, but I threw a lot of tantrums. So I didn't feel like I fit in, and eventually I felt like I met the outcast group who smoked weed, and I felt like I found my place. So it's kind of you hear it a lot. Like, when you start smoking weed, you don't think it's going to get any worse. I swore up and down that it would never get any worse, and that very quickly led to heroin and cocaine and every other drug under the sun. But that was my drug of choice. What were opiates? And that ended up leading me to homelessness, jail 4 different times, over 10 different treatment facilities, and I was, homeless in some of the worst streets in Overtown and Camden, and just my parents hired a private investigator twice to find me. So it was absolute insanity. I don't remember half of my life, and I'm only 29, just turned 29, and it's like crazy the amount of things that I don't remember because so much insanity happened. So eventually when I turned 21, I did get clean. On my own, I detoxed myself. I met my ex-boyfriend who was a dealer, and then he decided he gave me the ultimatum to get clean because the feds were watching us and I was a liability. So for some reason, usually I would, just up and leave and be like, yeah, screw you. I'm just going to go off and keep on running. Like, you don't mean anything to me, but I stuck around for whatever reason. I don't know if I was tired. I don't know if I was lonely. I don't know the reason, but I did. And that I stayed clean. But the thing was, after getting clean, I still had all the tendencies of an addict. I was just living an unhealthy lifestyle. I was still miserable. I had no direction. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And first of all, it was a really, really toxic and abusive and terrible relationship. We're still friends, but we both acknowledged that we were both awful for each other. So we ended up moving to Arizona. We both started getting our lives straightened out, but it was still, not a good situation. And I did start going to school for social work. I wanted to be a therapist. And I was, really just white knuckling it at that point because I just had no coping skills. I was just not using. And then eventually that seed that I talked about, that seed was there. That seed was saying that I knew I had more potential than what I was using. I knew I was destined for more. I always knew that I wanted to work for myself because of my dad ever since a young age. I just always knew that's what I wanted to do. I didn't know, even if I was going to finish my social work degree, I was going to open my own practice or whatever. But I've always shown and bred dogs from Bichons, and that's always been my passion. That was the one thing in my life that kind of kept me going. It was the one thing that gave me joy through all of this hell. And everything came full circle, and I moved back to New Jersey. And none of my credits transferred from Arizona for my social work degree. So I was like, okay, now what am I going to do? I just wasted all this money and all this time. So that pushed me to finally open my grooming salon. And
when was this? You opened your grooming salon. This was recent, right?
2.5 years ago. So it was a one-man show for a little bit. And I was working out of a basement and a kennel for a year. Then I converted my basement to my salon. And then I recently moved to Cherry Hill. We expanded and offered the other services.
And this is with Bichons. Am I saying that right?
Bichon Frises.
I can't say the last part, but they're the little
Little white fluff.
The little white fluffy dogs.
Little marshmallows, yeah.
I think I had one, an ex had one, a Bichon and a Shih Tzu or something.
Okay.
They're nice dogs, I guess.
What was your dog's? I remember your dog. You had a...
Braddock?
Yeah. He was a sweet
Braddock
dog.
was a bulldog.
I
love Braddock. Braddock passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Braddock was an awesome dog.
He was great. He was funny.
Should I bring her Odin to groom?
Tim's a big dog guy. He has all these dogs. So when we go over there and dogs love me. I'm a dog guy. But his dog is just like possessed by the devil or something. It doesn't like me. It bit me. It's attacked me. I don't...
What kind of dog is it?
A bad one.
Catahoula leopard dog?
Okay. Well, they're an intense working dog. So, yeah. I mean, maybe that doesn't like the vibes off of you.
I can't train a dog with anything.
I just playing.
Wow. Probably doesn't like you either.
The dogs run my house, so no discipline whatsoever.
Tim picks up a new dog every week I go over. He's like, sob story, somebody with a dog, and he just has to take it. I was like, Timmy, you can help these dogs, but you don't have to, he's like a zoo.
How many do you have?
33.
1, 2, 3, 4 now.
Wow, I have 3. I thought I had a lot. That's impressive.
You should get one more so you can kind of... Do you want Odin?
I probably will. No. No thanks.
It's probably you, not Odin. But, all right, so here you are. Yeah, we're huge animal people here. So you started 2.5 years ago. Then you moved to Cherry Hill during the pandemic.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. In the middle of the pandemic.
We started the show during the middle of the pandemic, and we had a lot of things that we had planned that we had to shut down because of the pandemic. With Hungry for Hope, it's just more than a podcast. We had to, put a lot of stuff on hold. So how was that for you, opening the Posh Pooch?
Luckily, 2 industries that are basically recession-proof are the pet industry and the baby industry, because people still need to get their pets groomed. They still need to go to the vet. And so we offer, a threefold business: training, daycare, and grooming. So grooming did great. And daycare is pretty much dead. It's right now just starting to kind of grow because people are going back to work. But I'm lucky. I got a really good deal on the business that I found that I bought to take over this place. And everything kind of like my dreams, my goals, exactly my vision that I had in my head for what I wanted my life to look like, and what I wanted to do and achieve with my business is everything fell into place. And I believe everything happens at the right time for the right moment. And for me, this was it.
You're striving during this, I guess you just have, sometimes when you have that will to succeed, I think when you've gone through stuff or so bad, I know for me, there's nothing that will get in my way. You can have a pandemic, I don't care what the hell it is. I'm coming and I'm coming hard. I'm going to get what I want because I came too far. You overcome so much. I know personally for me, there's nothing in the world that's going to get in my way.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like no matter a bad day or, struggling, especially with my business, like I had to be very resourceful because it is a big location, and not having the daycare, like it hasn't been easy. But for me, it's all about perspective. Like am I paying my bills? Yes. Okay, I don't have, it's still tough, and I still have to figure out like what to do. And we added training way earlier than we thought we would, because we had to think outside, what are we going to do? But it's nothing compared to the resilience that it builds in us. Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys do training in daycare?
Yes.
Can I send Tim and Yanni over there or is that just with dogs?
Well, my girlfriend's my girlfriend's watching a show. I know as soon as I get home, all the dogs have to go to training.
You're more than welcome. We're starting classes March 22nd, so.
For Tim or for the dog or Yanni?
We could we'll have
Yanni daycare.
Their girlfriends can bring them on a leash.
Yeah. Yanni, you ever been on a leash?
Just once, but it was my birthday.
That's awesome. So, and you're local. You're in South Jersey. When you first started, where were you?
Originally in Seoul, then Williamstown, now Cherry Hill. So I kind of bounced all over, but I have great clients who followed me.
You've been doing a dog thing forever. You used to do Weren't you in the dog show back in the day? I remember with what's that, Westminster? Is that it?
Yeah, I was just at Westminster last year before everything shut down. It was my last public event, so we just made it in time. We didn't win anything, but it's an experience in itself. It's so much fun.
It was probably rigged if you didn't win. It was probably cheaters and stuff.
Oh, it's so political. Oh, don't even get me started. Yeah.
We're going to get you started. What would you like to say to the Westminster Dog Club?
This is going to get me in trouble. Any of my dog show friends who tune into this.
This is the time. This is the place to get all that stuff out. We don't mess around here. We call people out when they're not doing the right things.
We call people out. But Yanni, you like to get involved. You're here.
Here I am.
Do some of the sports first. What do you think about Erin's story? What do you have to say to Erin?
I'm a little bit interested in how you got involved in the actual dog grooming shows and everything like that. I mean, I know you don't want to talk about the committee or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but how was that experience and what all is involved in being a professional dog groomer?
So I started. My parents put me in 4-H when I was 7. So I loved it immediately, and I got my first official show dog when I was 11 or 12. I got one of the hardest breeds to groom. We were totally clueless, and I was lucky enough that people were he was this 11, 12-year-old idiot who doesn't know anything about this breed, and it's one of the most difficult breeds to groom. Well, he's bald. He's pretty easy.
Pretty easy to groom. Hard to train, but easy to groom.
But so I'm lucky enough some amazing people took me under their wing. I was a live-in assistant, which was the only times I stayed in line, and then I would get bored and come back to New Jersey and just cause havoc again. So, but it was the only time I did good. But I had amazing mentors.
Cause havoc.
A lot of havoc causing. I've done a lot of havoc in my time. Thank God we're not causing any havoc.
No. Lifting up the community and people.
At least not tonight.
What else you got, Jan, man? That was some good stuff. I love when you throw in, you come from a different perspective and you bring good stuff.
Well, first my voice cracked, so I'm sorry about that. But,
no. You only embarrassed yourself.
Yeah, I'm it's like that whole world of, the dog grooming competitions, I know that, it, exists on, what is it, Thanksgiving, right? That's the big one? Is that what's going on?
That is one of the big ones.
It's just a whole world I don't know about, so I just want to learn a little bit more about.
It's a super weird world.
I guess
a lot of weird
would
people.
imagine so.
Yanni likes weird, though.
Yeah, but weird is what we do here on
Have
the
you
show.
seen the movie Best in Show?
I was just going to say that.
It's exactly like that. It's spot on. It's seriously, people are weird. But it's a lot of really nice people. Very, very just animal people and just really competitive, and everybody has their cliques, and it's but yeah, it costs a lot of money, and I don't know why I do it, because you don't win any money. You just spend a lot of money to lose.
Who determines what dog is groomed the best? They all look like pretty fancy dogs on there. How do you tell the difference?
You're trying to bet on dogs.
I'm just asking a question.
One of our viewers, Gene also hosts a show here, Wire to Wire. He wants to know. He thinks Yanni's trying to bet on the dogs. Do people bet on who's going to win Best in Show? That's a good question, though.
I think I heard of a bet going on in Vegas or something. I don't know.
You can bet on the winner, right? You got to be able to bet on it.
It depends on your bookie.
I'm sure there's somebody out there.
There probably is. Yeah, I would imagine. So I guess it's something you probably for Westminster. I would imagine there's some kind of bets going on.
Yeah, you can bet.
So what you're saying is next time it comes around to let you know who's the good dog in there.
If you give me a cut of the money if you win.
That can absolutely be arranged.
Sources.
That could definitely be arranged.
I think that's a federal crime.
Yeah, but Yanni would still lose.
But that's also, man, the dog, I just think it's cool because you did this dog thing, during your dark times. Did you ever, when you finally were getting your life together, you still wanted to go back to some of them things you were doing?
Yeah, I took a break for, a few years, obviously. And I was really, really nervous to try to get back into it and buy a dog to show, and because everybody knows everybody. And I contacted a breeder, and the first thing he does is, tells me somebody reached out to him. As soon as somebody found out that I was trying to buy a dog, they're like, do you know what she did? Just talking total crap about me. He was lucky enough to give me a chance. He, saw I was clean and doing good. And I burned a lot of bridges. I definitely did. But I am grateful that those people have, forgiven me. And we have amazing relationships today. And they're proud of everything that I'm doing. But yeah, it's definitely a passion that I'm always going to do for the rest of my life.
You bring up that burning bridges. I've blown up bridges, burned them, went back and burned them again, and all that good stuff. And we've talked about this before. When you do get your life together and you're doing great things, it doesn't matter how great you're doing, how many people you're inspiring, or you can be doing great things for a long time. There's always somebody who they're just a scumbag and they want to bring up your past, or you just don't trust you. I understand sometimes we did this to ourselves, but how have you been able to overcome that? People, sometimes it gets in our head, the whispers, or somebody who just wants to keep on bringing your past, our past, it up. How have you been able to overcome them naysayers?
That's been one of the most difficult things for me one of the most difficult challenges for me to overcome, because I am a sensitive person and I kind of internalize everything, and that's what led me down a path of addiction in the first place. Because, even if somebody's small correction as a child, I just couldn't handle it. So it's been a learning experience of just fuck it. I know who I am. I know where I'm headed. I have blinders on. I'm focused on where I'm going. And of course, it's hurtful when people say it and you get distracted. And it's crazy. I don't know if you saw my live on my Facebook for the pro bono women's. I offered 5 pro bono spots to women for coaching. I got an email an hour after the live, an anonymous email through my grooming site talking about basically who I was in my past, and very crudely. And on the way here, I got an anonymous text saying, "Go F yourself." I have no idea where these are coming from. I don't know who would be doing this. But you know what? I smiled and I laughed and I said, I don't know who it is, but I said,
want me to go beat them up?
I said, "God bless you." And that's it.
All right.
Yeah, I just.
That's better. Your way's better than mine. Sometimes my thinking's not the best.
For me, I just need to, I can't hold into anger. I just have to let it go. I send love and light to everybody who I hate. And, hopefully, because if they're being that miserable and going out of their way to try to do something to me or talk crap about me, they're going through some shit themselves. And that's what I always try to remember, even though no matter how angry I can get, but I'm like, you know what? They're being a dick because they're struggling. So
imagine how miserable they have to be to go out of their way to your Pooch website and send you an anonymous email.
Not just that. Not just that. Your mom just said she got the text too.
What?
She just said, "I got the text too." Swear to God.
No, she's
watching the show. She said, "I got the text too."
No fucking way.
This is live on air. I'm not kidding.
Oh my God.
All right, so we're going to go with Donnie's plan.
My mom's going to go into a full tailspin panic.
If Marie wants me to
right
smack
now.
him around, I'm here.
Oh my God.
You said it perfect. I don't like the curse, but fuck them, right? I used to get caught up with them to know what happened at the end, know who'd suffer, not them. I would suffer. Because I'd be thinking about these people, bringing it up, and I'd give all these, most of them are losers. They got nothing going on in their life. They're not anybody. I've never had somebody who was doing something good with their life ever talk shit, because they're too busy doing good stuff.
Yeah.
It's always the scumbags.
Yeah.
And the best way I found it just shut them up with the success,
Exactly.
Hey, watch me. And that's what I've done. And it pisses them off more than anything. Getting back and arguing with them, or sending Donnie to go smack them around. It might be fun for a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're they take up that space in our head. It can be a big burden to have. But the best thing I think is just to say fuck them and watch me.
Yeah, absolutely. Use it as fuel. Fuel to keep yourself going, and just I feel bad for them because that's it.
The best is I used to not be able to catch what you just said with giving people too much headspace, and that would take up more and more and more. Now I'll catch myself. I'll be like, this is way too much.
Yeah.
That person does not deserve that much space in my head.
It takes a while to acknowledge it. Like, you really have to, like, practice. Like, catch yourself and be like, wait.
Yeah, Eva Marie said, success is the best revenge. Friend of yours? Nah, I couldn't agree with that so much. Because that's, like, the last thing people want to see. They're miserable in their life. And for whatever reason, they just don't want to see other people do good. So when you do good, and when you just don't acknowledge them, like, hey, man, I'm too busy doing good.
Yeah. Right. I don't have time for that.
You know, we've been blessed. I put people around me. So, like I said, the greatest thing is being able to put the people I want around me. So, you know, since we've been doing this the last year, we've been very successful in nonprofit. I don't really hear haters. You know, I feel like, you know, when you put people around you and you just ignore them, we get a lot of positivity. There's always going to be them some.
Mm-hmm.
But I just put a strong circle of people around me. I'm sure you do. And it leads to great things.
I think that's one of the most important things, really, is like connecting with like-minded people or people who are, you know, a step ahead of you to learn from them. And, you know, I cut everybody off who was, you know, trying to just in a negative space or wants to stay stuck. You know, that's a great thing about the community of coaches that I'm in right now is that everybody is so community driven and just wants to build each other up and help people. And it's just such a positive environment. And that's the best way. That's how I can be the best coach possible is to, you know, make sure I'm the best version of myself. And I have accountability from other people who care about you and have your back. And you know them as a person. Like a mastermind group are you know, they're amazing. Or just a networking group of anywhere. Just stick with people who are in the same path that you are. That's it. And that's important.
Talk a little bit about how you're helping women kind of also, you know, grow in the business world and everything like that. I know you mentioned earlier you were part of a summit that I guess took place a few weeks ago, last week.
Yes.
Recently,
So there's a book release about to come out. I'm a co-author in a book with 11 other amazing authors.
Burying the lead here.
So we had a summit, a virtual summit on Sunday, and on March 19th to the 22nd, there's a 3-day event. It's a live event in Cherry Hill, hosted by Austin Haynes, who put this beautiful project together, and asked me to be in it. So I'm super stoked about it. I'll now be an officially published author. I'm also working on my life story book. But I just, you know, my goal is to help as many people as we can, as I can through my story and, you know, through doing things like this. And I do one-on-one coaching. So if anybody who I work with is women, you know, I help them find their purpose, their power, their passion, and their inner peace. And I feel like in society today, just as a woman, it's really difficult. There's so much pressure on us and standards. But just to, you know, people in general. And I know a lot of people resonate with my story, even if it's not directly, you know, it doesn't even have to be drug related or addiction related. Just there's so many different struggles that people deal with, and trauma behind it is the same. So if they're past the trauma and they kind of want to level up and, you know, find their path in business or life or just, you know, become the best version of themselves, that's what I help them do.
That's great work.
That's awesome, Erin. Going back, you know, keeping that same mindset. When you did mention you got clean, you broke out of that cycle of addiction, but you kind of mentioned you still felt like you weren't doing positive in your life. I kind of went through the same thing. You know, I was just so happy that I was, you know, I got arrested, I got out of jail, and I had my life back together in my mind, but I was just so comfortable with just that. I felt like I was missing something. I felt like I was doing a disservice to people because they saw my story, but I would put my past so far behind. I wouldn't bring it up. I didn't want to talk about it. I was running from it. It's who wants to bring up their darkest times at first? You know, it's the times you're most embarrassed of. You hurt your family, your friends. it's not easy to bring up. And the greatest thing I've done in my life is decide, to open up about it, because I've helped so many people, just like you are now with this. How was that actually coming to grips? I know it was hard for me, and this last year with the show, the nonprofit, it's been the greatest year of my life, because we've helped so many people by just sharing my story, and Tim's story, and all of our amazing guests. How was that finally opening up and being open, on podcasts? You did the thing on Sunday, you do all these videos. How did you come to that, where you were able to feel comfortable?
That's probably one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life. I have completely hid my past from my best friends and everybody. If you didn't know me from my past, you would never know anything about me. And it's terrifying, being vulnerable, and you just feel like my fear was everybody was going to judge me. And it's amazing. It's funny you said that's if you felt like something was missing, because I absolutely love what I do with my grooming business and my dogs and everything. But I run a successful business, but it still felt like something was like missing. And I know that I went through everything for a reason, and my job is to share my story, so other people can benefit from it. And I kind of see it as like the universe or God's like work of art, everything that I went through, from the good to the bad to the ugly, for society. I don't feel like it's my story. It's everybody's story. It doesn't belong to me anymore. It's everybody's story to learn from. And when I did finally decide, only in the past year, to really be open and honest, I've never would expected the response that I've gotten from people. It's been so beautiful. People have been so inspired, and it really has blown my mind. And it just saying it and coming out with it has been like the biggest weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You said it perfect, man. It's that burden. Our past is a huge burden to carry, and eventually, it can be what sinks us and puts us back in there. Well, for me, it was just I came to the realization I was doing good. People would see, I was doing pretty good, and I felt like they would get the wrong impression. They thought everything was just perfect, and I felt like I was doing a disservice to people, the people who were going through the struggles I went through, because they were looking at me and they were seeing somebody good. They didn't realize I came from where they were at. I felt like me sharing my story, if it could save one life, if I wasn't willing to do it, I was being a fraud. I was doing a disservice to the people who were in that rock bottom, because I know how it feels to be in that rock bottom. You feel like the world forgot about you. It's not a happy place. And I just want to prove to people, I want to show to people, rock bottom, it can be that new beginning we need.
Yeah.
But it's awesome how you're empowering people. I just feel like people need to hear from people who've been where they've been. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I don't knock. I always say I don't knock the people in the suits with the fancy degrees and everything, but I never listen to them people. You came in with me and told me, you had all this and you studied this, and but you never been where I've been. Get out of here.
Right.
That's just me. I need to relate to Donnie people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Erin people, whoever.
Yeah. I think it's, for me, I know at least if I went to a therapist or anybody to try to get help from it, or if I couldn't tell my story to a friend because they don't know. If you haven't been through it, there's no way that you can relate. Even if they try to be helpful or, come from a good place, it's not the same. We can only, help each other every people who can relate to each other.
Absolutely. It's just, people know things. They're just, I don't know. I don't know how to play ping pong. I'm not going to teach you how to play ping pong. What do I know about ping pong?
Right.
You play. What's your favorite sport, Erin? Ping pong a sport?
I think it's considered a sport. I think we have like championships and
Yanni, is ping pong a sport?
Ping pong's definitely a sport. Kidding me? It's so fun.
You bet on ping pong before. You're sick, dude. You're sick, man. You're disgusting. So what's your favorite sport, Erin? Change it up.
To play softball.
To play or watch?
Watch football.
Football.
Yeah. Eagles. I don't even want to talk about that. terrible. What a nightmare.
I love it. Tim, Tim, did you feel? I feel like I just can't get over. First, I want to thank you for being able to share your story because it's not easy, man. Just having the courage to come on our show and open up about your past. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, from Tim, Yanni. It takes a lot. I don't think people understand. We're bringing up our darkest, most embarrassing times, and who wants to do that? But like you said, it's been the greatest thing for me. Tim, how have you, felt opening up about your past?
I mean, I always thought help talking about it. As much as you don't want to, it helps me more than it helps other people. It helps me remember every time that I talk about it, what's going on. I mean, it does. The goal is to help other people, but I think every time you open up and you let something go or you talk about where you're at that given moment, it's going to help, go both ways, yourself and the people listening.
Yeah, man. We were down in Kensington. We also, this is a Hungry for Hope. It's just not a podcast. There's so much more than that. We got some great things. We're also a nonprofit. We just became official. We got our 501c3. We're licensed through the state of New Jersey. And we had people. We went out to Kensington, we went right into the middle of, the worst of the worst. We went to K&A, Kensington, Allegheny on the corner. I had some like-minded friends who just wanted to help. Some, they haven't been through addiction, but, they've had friends. Everybody has somebody that homelessness, addiction, hard times have affected.
Yeah.
We go down to Kensington. We've been doing this. It's been amazing. Can't thank everybody who's been involved more, but we go down. Tim, Yanni were there. Yanni cooked, burger after burger for hours. Yanni was cooking burgers. Cass Food Distributors donated so much food. But down there, we're literally where that's the worst. That's like ground zero. It's where it's all open air, people just doing drugs, homeless. They're at the worst times. People are like, oh, that's so good you're helping them. It helps me more than anything. Listening to them, I had people hug me and cry. And we even had business owners who weren't involved come over and just thank us personally. Like, we're watching what you're doing. Sometimes you get people down there, they have like ulterior motive. They're trying to sell them God, or they're trying to sell them to rehab or something. We're just down there trying to lift their spirits. I don't have no ulterior motive. We're just down there. We're hugging. We're giving clothes. We're giving hygiene products. We're cooking burgers. We're eating the burgers with them. We're just chit-chatting, having fun. I ask them, what your favorite football team is, whatever, just to humanize them, make them realize that they still matter. And that's been like something that's affected me more than I could ever imagine. Just hearing these people, seeing, me helping them helps me more than anything I could ever imagine.
That's a beautiful thing about it, I think, is like, just being giving. It comes back around. It really is. It's healing. And it's, those people need that, but it's amazing how it affects us as well.
You never know. I think I mentioned it last week with our guest that you never know if you do something just for the right reason, not because you're trying to get something out of it or you're doing something, man. I feel like I've had times where, down the road something has come back and it was like I really needed something, somebody helped me. And I had no idea why. And they're like, you don't remember, but, back whenever you helped me or you stood up for me or whatever. The world's crazy. I believe it's a bigger thing than any of us, no matter what you believe. We brought somebody to Kensington this week. It was one of my good friends' mom. I've met her maybe once, twice. Just at like a birthday party for my buddy when we were younger. I barely knew her at all. Barely knew her. And I got locked up in 2015. I started receiving these letters. It's like, you might not remember me. I'm so-and-so's mother. I liked you from the day I met you. And I heard what happened. And something told me, that I had to reach out to you. And that there was a bigger picture for you. God, or whatever you want to call it, was giving you these hard times so he could use you. You're going to get out, you're going to help people, and I'm going to be there with you, and we're going to be helping people together. I looked at these letters, and I think I probably threw the first one away.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't stop. And she kept on sending letters, and eventually I bought into it. It can't hurt, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, that was 2015. This Saturday, I was in Kensington with her helping people. You know, you don't have to believe nothing. Just, you know,
yeah,
it's amazing. It just her telling me that, just telling somebody like, hey, you're going to get out of here. Words can mean so much to people. How you do with the empowerment. I'm sure you have affected people. Have you felt that so far? Have you had people come up to you and said, Erin, you know, your words?
It's a beautiful thing. It's really a beautiful thing. Seeing the growth in the clients that I work with. I don't even know how to put it into words. Like the feeling behind, and that's not why I went into this, but I just get so grateful. It's just like this, you know, it really, really touches your heart. And it's like, wow, like it just validifies, you know, the reason I went through everything is, you know, really, I believe like this is my journey. But no, I never would have expected like the feelings and feedback that I've gotten. And it's been very humbling, very humbling.
And it's like you mentioned, that's like gasoline on the fire too. When these people, when I realize it's sometimes, you know, you might think that it's going to work, but when you actually see it and people are telling you,
yeah,
it just makes me personally like, I hit these guys up Sunday. We had a great weekend doing this stuff, and I hit them up and said, we did good, but you know, I'm not happy. Let's go back. We're going to do better. This is just the beginning. Don't get satisfied because I'm hungry, man. I'm hungry for hope, man. I'm so hungry to do better.
I see what he did there.
I drive these guys, you know, I'm sure I try to break them or motivate them, you know, in either way. Yeah. They're going to get out of the way or they're going to, and they've been amazing. It's all about the people you put around you.
Yeah.
But definitely inspired. It's definitely gasoline on the fire. And
it is.
Your fire's burning.
It is.
Don, it definitely made an impression on me. Being out there on Saturday, it was the first time I've ever done anything like that, which I don't know what that says about me. Maybe that I'm an asshole. I don't know. But I don't know, just like looking at everybody in the eyes, I'm handing them food, right? And they just, you know, for the most part, it's thank you. Hey, you guys, you know, thanks you guys for being out here. Just like, you know, kind of we set up like a barbecue type atmosphere where people were just hanging around and talking and just, you know, a little sense of normalcy, even in, you know, still COVID times and everything like that. And it just made an impression on me seeing just the looks on the faces of just kind of joy and like no matter how, you know, shitty their life is at that point in time, they're having fun today. And, you know, I don't know. It made quite an impression on me.
Except for that one guy that wanted mustard.
The one guy that wanted the weird mustard. Well, we know now for next time, you know, bring condiments, you know, bring a few extra burgers.
What are you doing to the homeless?
Maybe condoms, too.
The guy asked Yanni for mustard. He was pissed off.
Oh, no.
I was not pissed off.
The guy was pissed off. The guy was pissed off.
The guy was pissed off because we didn't have mustard. We had like hot sauce, barbecue sauce. We had some of the best burgers. Like fast food distributors are great.
Hey, listen, we're learning.
It's amazing though when you do things like that. Like that's where you see people like perspective. Like you see unhappiness, you know, coming out and being taken out on you. Like some people are just being in the situation that they're in there, being unbelievably grateful and just having a good time. To, you know, there's always that one. It's just.
I mean, the guy appreciated it, but yeah, he gave us a little ribbing for not having confidence. It's fine. Again, we're just going to get better next time. That's what the show's all about here.
That's awesome. I'd love to join you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing awesome stuff. I'm gonna let you know about it. It's cool. I love how I'm like Yanni, and there's some other people who, you know, they haven't been in that, but they still are such good people. They're willing to come with us because you know, they just want to do good and they want to, you know, stand around their friends and they know other people who've gone through it. And it's not easy going down there. Like sometimes I sit these people down like we're going into war. I let them know like this is what you got to be ready for. You know, bad things can happen. We're in, you know, a high crime area, high drug area, you know, people getting shot and robbed and killed. It's nothing easy. You know, I always admire these people. We actually have a big breakfast before we go. Pat Enright. Enrights have been awesome with it. Enright Tree Service. We go over to their house and we actually eat before we go to, you know, we're like a team going into the war. We have a great big breakfast, sausage, bacon, eggs, I think some mimosas. And, you know, we just...
Hey, you might not have been.
And then we mentally prepare, and we all hop in. We all got trucks. We take everybody over in, and we all pull in there. Like five truckloads of us, and we get on the business.
That's cool. That's awesome.
It's been awesome. Between that and having inspiring guests like you on the show, man, it's just been a hell of a ride. But Erin, our time's getting short. Just anybody out there, I just want you to leave somebody with word. If somebody's out there, maybe they're struggling. Maybe there's a young lady out there who's going through the same struggles you've gone through, and they're just feeling hopeless. They lost that hope. What would you tell them? What would your words be to people out there listening?
That it's never too late. Even though you may tell yourself that, it really, really, really isn't. It's never too late. And no matter how low you've gone, my mom wrote my eulogy for me, and nobody expected me to be alive today. And now, I'm in a position where I never thought I would be, but I'm, successful in what I do, and I'm reaching out and helping other people. And just, if you don't see the light, there is the light. Let me be the light for you until you could see the light for yourself. So just reach out. Doesn't hurt to reach out.
That's amazing, Erin. I want to thank you from all of us. It's amazing. I cherish our friendship. I've seen you. We've seen each other through good times, bad times. It's amazing. You're doing awesome. I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of you.
I love your family. You're amazing. We just want to thank you. I want to thank you personally. Tim, Yanni, both want to thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Anybody can check you out. We gave your social media, the Posh Pooch. That's awesome. Hunger for Hope Nation. Thanks for joining in. We're out of here. Have a good night.